Good afternoon, friends and neighbors of Taylor County. This is J.J. Messick coming to you on Monday, Memorial Day. Just wanted to say that I wish everybody have a pleasant Memorial Day weekend and enjoyed themselves. And in the process, that you kept in mind the purpose of this holiday, which is to remember those that gave all for our freedoms and our security in this nation. And I just wanted to kind of touch base with a couple of things. This could be a little bit more lengthy than my usual video because I'm going to read a couple of things to you folks. But I did attend, Lori and I attended the Taylor County Memorial Day event at the Veterans Memorial. And it was quite a turnout there, and the weather was nice. Unlike right now, up here in Shady Grove, I'm afraid we're getting a whole lot of weather at the moment. So I'm in the process of doing some CEUs to continue my certification with the pest control business, and also just trying to get out of the rain right now. And looks like Luna wants to play with her hog. Luna, that's enough. The things that can happen when you're doing these things at home. But anyway, she's a good girl. But you go play with your toys in there. We bought her some new toys. She's all excited. But I hope that everybody's doing well. Today I was thinking about Dad. You know, we lost him years ago, but he served in the Korean War. I remember all of his stories, and I actually have a lot of his letters he wrote home to his mom and dad, my grandparents. And so I was just going to share a piece of one of the letters with you and then go into something else. Real quick, I'm going to just read this to you folks. This is a letter that Dad wrote when he and his twin brother, Uncle John, were serving together over in Korea. They actually were serving about 5 miles apart from each other. Uncle John was in the service company, which was providing material to the folks in the front lines, and my dad was on the front lines. And it was started out, funny thing about that is that, when Dad and Uncle John arrived there, I read some of their letters, and they were just kind of lighthearted. We're eating well, we're doing well, they were, and I knew Dad wasn't want to alarm his mom and dad about the conditions there. But as time went on, you could see in the letters that there was a gradual, not so gradual really, but it was a significant change in the flavor of his letters that he was sending home. Eventually, he was in the bunkers on the front line. Dad was an expert shot with a 50 caliber apparently, so there's where the Army sent him. They had him on the front line with that 50 caliber, and he did a lot of good there. He saved some lives. He took a lot of lives. And one of the things he noted in this letter that I'm about to read to you is that he was a little concerned about the lives he was taking, because apparently my grandparents used to support Chinese orphanages back in the day. It was a big thing, I think. So anyway, I'm going to just read this to you quickly. And this is part of his letter. This is the ending page. I couldn't even find the front page to it, but in this final page, he says, "This war isn't a good insurance risk, but it isn't as bad as they make it out, I hope. We are outnumbered, but our weapons and clothes are better. We fight the Chinese here. I would hate to think it was the same ones you have been helping all these years. Yes, they are nothing but kids. I sure hate to kill them. Maybe if the good Lord sees fit, we will have peace for a Christmas present. It would be the best we ever had, and we've had some wonderful ones. Love you both very much, James. P.S. Please write. We've only had one letter since we've been here." So letters back in those days, I guess, were the main line of communication for our folks that were serving in the overseas theater of wartime. And that was mail call was a very special thing. Now I want to go back even further and just kind of pick up on something. There was a gentleman named Thomas Paine, and he served with George Washington. during the American Revolution. And I think it was just Christmas Eve in 1776 that he wrote this passage here. And that's when right before the troops crossed the Delaware. Many of you probably know about the event. And they launched a surprise attack on the soldiers in Trenton. They had a victory there, and that kind of turned the tide for them. Up to that point, it was a pretty rough go for the Continental Army. But Thomas Paine wrote this, and I thought it was kind of very fitting to keep in memory. Thomas wrote, "These are the times that try men's souls. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will in crisis shrink from the service of his country. But he that stands it now deserves the love and thanks of man and woman. Tyranny, like hell, is not easily conquered. Yet we have this consolation with us, that the harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph. What we obtain too cheap, we esteem too lightly. 'Tis dearness only that gives everything its value. Heaven knows how to put a proper price upon its goods, and it would be strange indeed if so celestial an article as freedom should not be highly rated. Britain, with an army to enforce her tyranny, has declared that she has a right, not only to tax, but to bind us in all cases whatsoever. And if being bound in that manner is not slavery, then there is not such a thing as slavery upon the earth. Even the expression is impious, for so unlimited a power can belong only to God. Quitting this class of men, I turn with the warm ardor of a friend to those who have nobly stood and are yet determined to stand the matter out. I call not upon a few, but upon all, not on this state or that state, but every state. Up and help us. Lay your shoulders to the wheel. Better have too much force than too little, when so great an object is at stake. Let it be told to the future world that in the depth of winter, when nothing but hope and virtue could survive, the city and the country, alarmed at one common danger, came forth to meet and to repulse it. Say not that the thousands are gone. Turn out your tens of thousands. Throw not the burden of the day upon providence, but show your faith by your works. That God may bless you. It matters not where you live or what rank of life you hold. The evil or the blessing will reach you all, the far and near, the home countries and the back, the rich and the poor will suffice to rejoice alike. The heart that feels not now is dead. The blood of his children will curse his cowardice. Who shrinks back at a time when a little might have saved the whole and made them happy? I love the man that can smile in trouble and that can gather strength from distress and grow brave by reflection. 'Tis the business of little minds to shrink, but he whose heart is firm and whose conscience approves his conduct will pursue his principles unto death. My own line of reasoning is to myself as straight and clear as a ray of light. Not all the treasures of the world, so far as I believe, could have indeed induced me to support an offensive war, for I think it murder. But if a thief breaks into my house, burns and destroys my property, and kills or threatens to kill me, or those that are in it, and to bind me in all cases whatsoever, to his absolute will am I to suffer it? What signifies it to me whether he or who does it is a king or a common man, my countrymen or not my countrymen, whether it be done by an individual villain or an army of them? If we reason to the root of things, we shall find no difference, neither can any just cause be assigned why we should punish in the one case and pardon in the other. Let them call me a rebel and welcome. I feel no concern from it, but I should suffer the misery of devils, were I to make a whore of my soul by swearing allegiance to one whose character is that of a sottish, stupid, stubborn, worthless, brutish man. I thank God I fear not. I see no real cause for fear. I know our situation well, and we can see our way out of it. By perseverance and fortitude, we have the prospect of a glorious issue. By cowardice and submission, the sad choice of a variety of evils, a ravaged country, a depopulated city, habitations without safety, and slavery without hope. Our homes turn into barracks and bawdy houses of Husseins, a future race to provide for, whose fathers we shall doubt of. Look on this picture and weep over it. And if there yet remains one thoughtless wretch who believes it not, let him suffer it unlaminated. That, I thought, was a very powerful writing by a man that was about to go into war with George Washington when he wrote that. The magnitude of the sacrifices made since that day forward in this nation have been huge. There have been so many that have given their lives, given their fortune, their wealth, have put their families into those situations where grief and suffering and hardships came upon them. And I can tell you that today is a very special day to remember all those people from that day forward. We have had many of our loved ones that have served overseas. Many have come back, some have not. I personally served in the United States Marine Corps back in 1973, right after high school. Had I been a little bit older, I would have been in Vietnam, but I did not. I was one of the fortunate ones that served in that era without having to actually fight. So, and I used to feel a little guilty about that, believe it or not, back in the day. But after serving with so many that had just come back from there, I know I was blessed to have missed that unfortunate circumstance that they had to endure. So I just wanted to remember all those today. And I think that the best way that we could possibly honor them is to go forward with the principles outlined by our founders and when they created this nation and gave so much to establish a place in this earth where freedom and liberty ring above all else, anywhere else. There's a lot to be done here, folks. There's a whole lot of work to be done if we're going to preserve that. But if we want to honor those that gave their lives and have sacrificed so much, we will continue to secure those freedoms for not just us, but for our children and our grandchildren. We want to see our nation flourish under God with the blessings of God to come upon it. We must turn away from our bad ways and our evil ways and repent before God as a nation, because we've had so many things here as a nation that have just broken that down spiritually. And I know that we're probably living in the latter days, folks, and there's probably going to be a whole lot more worse things to come ahead before us. But let's stand firm. Let's go ahead and stand on the side of good against evil. And that's my reasoning for being in this race, where I'm campaigning for County Commission for District 4. And let us not forget that this constitutional conservative with common sense is what Taylor County needs, and that's what I intend to provide. We love y'all, and I'll talk to you soon. Have a good day. Bye-bye.